So I wanted to dive into two big pieces of gaming news that have been buzzing this week. First, we've got a report suggesting that PlayStation might be gearing up to purchase Kadokawa Corporation, the parent company of FromSoftware, which is quite insane. And secondly, there's a rumor that Dark Souls 3 could be getting a remaster. Man, these stories are making waves, and I've got my thoughts I just wanted to share. So, Sony is reportedly in talks of acquiring Kadokawa Corporation, a media giant that owns 70% of FromSoftware, the renowned developer, of course, of Elden Ring. Now, this potential acquisition, first reported by Reuters, hope I'm not butchering the name, could see a deal signed in the coming weeks, marking a significant step for Sony as it continues to strengthen its position in both the gaming and entertainment industries. So, Kadokawa Corporation, with a market capitalization of approximately $2.7 billion, is a Japanese powerhouse with deep roots in publishing, anime, manga, and gaming. Sony already holds about 2% stakes in Kadokawa and a 14% stakes in FromSoftware. But acquiring Kadokawa outright would give Sony majority control over one of the gaming's most influential studios. Both Sony and Kadokawa have declined to comment on this report. Now, the silence isn't exactly unusual for the ongoing negotiations, but the lack of official confirmation hasn't stopped the gaming and of course the entertainment industries from buzzing with speculations. So, Sony's interest in Kadokawa aligns with its broader strategy of transitioning from electronic giant to leader in the entertainment. Now, while Sony Interactive Entertainment has long been a cornerstone for its operations, the company has been expanding aggressively into other media, particularly including anime. Now, in 2021, Sony acquires Crunchyroll, one of the world's largest anime streaming platforms, in a move that quite surprised many, especially since Sony already owned rival service such as Funimation. By consolidating Funimation's into Crunchyroll in 2022, Sony solidified its dominance in anime distribution. Now, Kadokawa's vast library of anime and manga properties would provide Sony with even more IP to leverage across its entertainment divisions. These franchises could be turned into games, movies, or TV series, strengthening Sony's content pipeline. This aligns with comments made earlier this year by Sony's CFO, Hiroki Totoki, who emphasized the company's need for more IP to grow its entertainment footprint. Whether it's for the games, films, or anime, we don't have that much IP that we foster from the beginning. Also, just acquiring Kadokawa would be a direct solution to this problem. So, Kadokawa history dates back into 1945, starting as a publisher before expanding into video games in the 1990s. It's responsible for a vast catalog of anime and manga franchises, many of which have been cultural phenomena in Japan and beyond. In gaming, its majority stakes in FromSoftware is particularly notable. FromSoftware has become one of the most acclaimed studios in the industry, with titles such as Dark Souls, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and of course Elden Ring defining the entire genres. Acquiring Kadokawa would also give Sony the opportunity to expand its anime operations. With Crunchyroll and Aniplex already under its umbrella, Sony could integrate Kadokawa's properties into its ecosystem, creating synergies across streaming, merchandises, and of course gaming. Now, despite its success in terms of the Kadokawa has actually faced quite a few challenges recently. In 2022, as an example, its chairman, Tsuguhiko Kodakawa, resigned following a sponsorship scandal linked to 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Although he denies any wrongdoing, the incident tarnished the company's reputation. And earlier this year, Kadokawa was hit by a ransom attack that resulted in the loss of 1.5 terabytes of data, further straining its resources. And additionally, there has been speculation that Kadokawa could become the target of hostile takeover by South Korean company. Selling to Sony, a Japanese entity, could be a way for Kadokawa to maintain its national identity while gaining the resources needed to recover and grow. For gamers, the most exciting aspect of this potential acquisition is the undoubtedly Sony's increased control over FromSoftware. The studio's recent expansion, Shadow of the Erdtree, has been so well received that it's been considered for Game of the Year at the Game Awards that I personally don't believe should even be nominated, in fact, because it still counts as a DLC/expansion. Anyway, that's just my thoughts about that. But still, if Sony acquires Kadokawa, it could potentially make FromSoftware's future games exclusive to the PlayStation, following the precedent set by Bloodborne. This could also open the door for deeper collaborations between FromSoftware and Sony. Imagine FromSoftware's unique storytelling and world building being adapted into anime series for Crunchyroll or a blockbuster movie produced by Sony Pictures. The possibilities are genuinely endless. Sony's potential acquisition of Kadokawa comes at a time when the company is actively expanding its IP portfolio. Recently, Sony was reportedly in talks to acquire ZDEyE, an Indian media conglomerate, for $10 billion. These moves demonstrate Sony's ambition to dominate the entertainment on a global scale, and to be honest with you, I much prefer seeing Kadokawa get acquired by Sony rather the Indian media. So by acquiring Kadokawa, Sony wouldn't just be strengthening its gaming division, but also bolstering its position in anime and manga, two industries that are experiencing massive growth worldwide. This diversification could help Sony weather challenges in any single market by leveraging its assets across multiple platforms and mediums. However, a deal of this magnitude wouldn't come without challenges. Acquiring Kadokawa could face regulatory scrutiny, particularly in Japan and other regions, where Sony dominance in the anime industry could raise concerns. Critics might argue that the acquisition would stifle the competition, especially given Sony's existing ownership of Crunchyroll and Aniplex. There's also a question of how this move might impact Kadokawa's creative independence. While Sony has a track record of supporting its subsidiaries, the integration process could lead to shifts in priorities that might not align with Kadokawa's traditional operations. Now, let's talk about the second piece of the news, the rumor that Dark Souls 3 is getting a remaster. This comes from Special Nick, a known leaker who mentioned it on his Xbox Era podcast. While details unfortunately are scarce, the idea of revisiting a Dark Souls 3 with modern enhancements actually has me hyped. So, obviously Dark Souls 3 was released in 2016, and Dark Souls 3 is one of the best selling games in the Souls series, with over 10 million copies sold. It's widely regarded as a masterpiece, blending the challenging gameplay the series is known for with some of the most breathtaking level designs and visuals in the genre. Even years later, it still holds up incredibly well, but a remaster could make it even better. Now, I wanted to mention this. I do genuinely find it funny that we might get a Dark Souls 3 remaster before Bloodborne. Seriously, what's the holdup with Bloodborne? Fans have been begging for a remaster or even a PC port for years, and it's starting to feel like a running joke at this point. Now, if Dark Souls 3 really is getting a remaster treatment first, I can't help but wonder, what is the reasoning behind this kind of a decision? Well, if this rumor is true, a remaster could bring some exciting upgrades to Dark Souls 3. Nick actually hinted that the resolution and frame rate will be better than the original's 1080p and 60 FPS. And for the players on the newer consoles or high-end PCs, this would be a welcome improvement. But what if they want to go a little further, like enhanced textures, updating lightings, and maybe even ray tracing could make Dark Souls 3 feel like a brand new experience. And plus, FromSoftware could use this opportunity to add quality of life improvements like smoother online matchmaking or refinements in the UI. And it's just that this timing of this rumor is also quite interesting. Like, with Elden Ring dominating the gaming landscapes, it seems like FromSoftware is riding a massive wave of popularity. A Dark Souls 3 Remastered would not only cash in that momentum, but also introduce the game to a new audience who might have missed it in the first time around. Now, as much as I want this to be true, it's still just unfortunately a rumor for now. Special Nick has good track record, but until FromSoftware or Bandai Namco says something official, we have to take this with a grain of salt. That said, the idea of revisiting Dark Souls 3 with modern enhancements is undeniably exciting. So, both of these stories have massive implications for the gaming world, and they are a reminder of just how exciting this industry can be. If Sony does end up acquiring Kadokawa, it could reshape the landscape of gaming, anime, and manga in many ways that we couldn't even fully imagine it yet. FromSoftware's future would be even more tightly linked to PlayStation, and that's a prospect I'm really quite excited about. Now, as for Dark Souls 3 Remaster rumor, I think it's a great idea. Dark Souls 3 is already an incredible game, but giving it a little more of a modern makeover could bring it to even greater heights. And while we're at it, can we please get a Bloodborne Remaster too? It feels overdue at this point. Whether the rumors turns out to be true or not, one thing's for sure. There's a lot to look forward to in the world of gaming. And of course, do let me know what you think about all these acquisitions and rumors regarding the possibility of Sony acquiring Kadokawa, and perhaps maybe your thoughts regarding of Dark Souls 3 Remaster coming, well, into fruition. Love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe. See you guys all, and have a wonderful day.